This is Will Clayton Church of Christ. This is June the 14th, 2020. This is our Sunday morning Bible study, and it is entitled, "That which is highly esteemed among men is an abomination unto God." That which is highly esteemed among men is an abomination unto God. And our text is taken from Luke 16, and we'll begin at verse number 1. I want to do some word study here real quick to help us to understand where we're at. Esteemed, this word from the book of Luke is G for Greek, 5308, G 5308. This word is lofty, place of character, high esteem. So this is a person that among men, this is the statement Christ says, among men, they have good character in the eyesight of men. And they are lauded as someone great. Okay? But the Lord says in the word abomination, G946, G946, they are a detestation. That is specifically idolatry. So the word carries the understanding of they are detested by God and they are considered as of idolatry. Now, I want you to remember that because Jesus is going to say something about some men. And see, it's not fair for us to look at the book of Luke chapter 16. It's not fair for us, nor is it right for us to judge these men as if they were just some wicked beast. These men, the Pharisees, before we read it, hold your hand on Luke 16 and go to Matthew 23. I want to show you how well favored and honored they were of God. They were well favored and honored of Almighty God. Matthew 23 and verse 1. Then spake Jesus to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, the scribes and Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. So they're in the place of Moses when they read the Word of God. It's like what we do. We read the Word of God, so we are speaking for Christ, we're speaking for Moses, we're speaking for Isaiah. All, not some, all therefore, whatsoever they bid you observe. So he says, whatever they tell you, observe it. That observe and do. But do not after their works, for they say and do not. So what he says is he's not talking about Herod. He's not talking about idolaters. He's saying these Pharisees, when they read the word, you have to observe it and do it. But just don't do their works. Verse 4, why? For they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne. They are heavy to be carried, very grievous. And lay them on men's shoulders. They give you thoughts that are too heavy for you to carry. But they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers. Why would he say? Because they have the knowledge to remove, listen to me, to remove that burden off of your shoulder. Even the one they placed, but they will not. Okay, so I have one more thing I want to share with you. These same particular scribes and Pharisees, Herodians and Sadducees, they had their own scribes, they had their own lawyers, but they have a key of knowledge God gave them. Now I want you to look at Luke 11, going back to the book of Luke, and then we'll go to 16th chapter. You have to have the background to see these men are the same type of men you have in the Church of Christ today. I'm not talking about outside the church. This is Church of Christ battle only. They're in the church. And some of them, you and I may highly esteem because of their character that used to look like Christ and had His image. But if you stay that way, you will follow their ways. You're going to follow it, and you're going to fall from your steadfastness. Luke 11:52, it says, woe unto you lawyers. Remember I told you lawyers. Now, what was a lawyer? Not legal lawyers. Lawyers that deal with the law of Moses and go to court. What court? The Sanhedrin court. And go before the Pharisees, because the Pharisees have risen up so high in their walking according to the word to the eye of the man. They had superseded the priest. They would bring a priest into the council. They bring anyone to the council. And the people began, watch this, the people began to say, well, the Pharisees said. So they started leaning toward what brother so-and-so said. And his wife, sister so-and-so said. And he's the prominent preacher. He's one of the top preachers. There's a rumor there's a rumor put out by 21st century Christian, which is like the Gospel Advocate. They make books. And this is the rumor. I'm not going to tell you whose name on there. Some of you already know. They're trying to sell their books. They're in competition with Gospel Advocate. Because if you buy from Gospel Advocate, you're not buying from 21st century. So they're different. And so Gospel Advocate, we say, well, they strong as they used to be. But 21st century left the faith a little quicker. How do I know? I went to some of the seminars. So we was picking books to buy. And so this was years ago. Years ago, my daughter was like a little girl. And so 21st century has a book out. Like we use those weekly books. We used to use the weekly book. And you still can. You can take the weekly books we used to use. If you still got the old ones, I keep them. If you like one, I've always told the brethren, if you're not comfortable with putting together a lesson from scratch, I've got all the books. A lot of them, should I say. I'll give you one. Pull your lesson from there. Just screen and make sure it's still in line with the gospel. And so what happened, 21st century's books, now I have one in my possession, so I'm telling you what I know. Now you want to see it, I'll let you see it. And the brother who wrote it, he gave it to me. I'm not leaving it. I'm trying to give him much mercy as I can, but God knows he's a rebel. Nevertheless, it says he is one of the 4 great African American evangelists and a brother. Now who took that vote? And I'm not saying it for jealous. I don't even call his name. I'm not jealous of anything. I do my work. I do it quality. And I don't need nobody telling me nothing other than they love Jesus. That's all I want. I don't want nothing about no me getting applause. But who told you would be one of the top 4 African American evangelists with all the African American evangelist writers that have written books more than you can count? Because I'm trying to sell my book. So if I think that you're one of the top 4, I don't know who did that reference check. And I know the other brother too that's on there. I know these 2. I've met them. I know their families. I know them. So I'm saying, you say, well, Ozan, well, I'm going to leave it there. I'm not trying to throw no rocks, but I'm telling you, this is the problem. So they are of the group considered highly esteemed. Now, when the mouth says something that is idolatrous and abomination, this is why Jesus attacked men like that. Because Luke 11:52 says, woe unto you lawyers, for you have taken away the key of knowledge. So you took the key. And she said, well, why would the Lord give it to such a scoundrel? Because that's how he judges you. He gives you the key of knowledge, and he tells you, now go unlock the knowledge that I've given you of my Father to them. And you take it away. You put it in your pocket. Well, he's not going to authorize you to go get it. So you have to go find someone who has the key of knowledge and is desirous to open and share it with you. Or you lose. It isn't a pass God given. Well, he took the key. And a lot of times, well, I told you about another one had the key. And I told you several had the key other than him. And you didn't listen. So I still have to judge you. And that's the thing we have to understand. So he says, you entered not in yourself. Notice why I use this past tense. Because he's telling them, when I came to you, you already had this key of knowledge. You should have knew who I was. And you did. You took the key away because you didn't want the other people to know. He said, and you're not getting in. And look what else he says. And them that were entering in you hindered. I want you to make sure you understand what the word hindered means. Because you may think, oh, you just hold you up. No. Let's deal with this word. Why are you sawing the words, Ozan? Because I want you to know what God is saying. Because hinder in your mind may think, well, you know, it just kind of got, no, it didn't just get in the way. G2967. G for Greek, 2967. To stop that is prevent. Oh, that's different. By word or act. See, my word can instruct you, and my actions can prevent you if I take away the key. No, you're not getting in. Because you're listening to me. So when the Lord shows you another who is not esteemed, who is looked at as a nothing and a nobody, who has the key, you go, but he's not esteemed. So the Lord says, yes, but he's got the key. Listen to his voice. And you don't, you fall. And it's right. It should happen. And amen to God. Because that's just. Because it's his word. And if you say you believe it, You have to accept it. So he says, forbid, hinder, keep from, let not, suffer, withstand. I'm in the way. I'm not getting in. You can't. It's just like an analogy. It's like a guy with a key. I got the key, not getting in. What do they do at these clubs? That's just that get real. Some of us are busy. I used to live in them. They got a big guy there. And if he can't, he's got something in his pocket. And if he doesn't have somebody watching a TV screen, I'll be in the club. And they'll send 2 more from back there. Sometimes there'll be armed policemen with uniforms on. And they tell you, you know, you're not getting in. You got the card. Do you know anybody? Can I name drop? Leave now before you get hurt. So I'm not going in either because it's locked. But you're not going in. See, it's the analogy. I've got the entrance for you to get in. Why would God put that in the hand of a man? Because he says, everything you know, you hear from a man. So, one more verse, Romans 10. I'm going to prove to you, you cannot hear the gospel without a teacher. That includes me. I can't hear the gospel without a teacher. That includes you. So, you say, well, you are a teacher. I'm just one other teacher. I'm not the teacher. So I listen to people too, men and women. Some of the things women have said are so powerful. I remember who said it, and the day I saw their face say it. So I'm supposed to be listening to. Romans 10 and verse number. Let's get the one right to it. 14. How then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed? And how shall they believe on him in whom they have not heard? How shall they hear without a preacher, proclaimer? That's it. That's it. So God has told you, you're not going to hear without a man telling you. Everything about me, God says, I will have a man tell you. But what does he do? He reminds you. He teaches. But he cannot validate that God exists. God does that in your spirit. In Romans 1 it says, I've revealed myself to you. So now, when you walk outside, you take little Billy. See that sun? Lemon yellow sun. God made that. He doesn't know that. He's never seen the sun. He just got a mama's stomach. He's just walking around. He sees the warmth, the wind blow. What is that? That's the wind. Who made it? God. What? You can't prove God made it by the wind blowing. He already knows who God is. You remind him. Now when you tell him, don't do that, baby. God don't like that. He starts to get an attitude. I don't care what God like. Even though he 2 or 3. I asked Jacob and Esau. He starts to get rowdy. Can't wait till I get out this house. I'm so sick of hearing about God. And they hypocrites too. He starts judging. And then you find him laid out on the concrete somewhere, riding with his friends that were getting high. He was the driver. The smoke got filled up in the car. He starts getting light in it because he doesn't smoke. Flips it over. And you're at a funeral now. Did he not know? Yeah, he knew. So you have to understand, you're judged by the words that come out of your mouth. You don't have to come out your mouth, from the heart. So we understand. Now we can go to Luke. The rest will be easy. The rest will be easy. Luke chapter 16 verse 1. And he said unto his disciples, there was a certain rich man which had a student. This is a very intriguing lesson. And the same was accused unto him that he had wasted his good. Remember, the steward must be found faithful by the master. So this is a real physical steward. And he called them and he said unto them, how is it that I hear this of thee? Give an account of thy stewardship, for thou mayest no longer be steward. So what he's saying, he said, okay, now he finds out, okay, you need to give an account. I've been hearing you've been wasting my goods. Rumors been floating, either from other servants or from the people he's been wasting the goods on. He's not managed it right. He's been too lenient. Or he hasn't been making them pay on time. Whatever the case may be. Verse 3. Then the steward said within himself, what shall I do? For my Lord taketh away from me the stewardship. I cannot dig. Says obviously he's got some injury or he's too old. To beg, I'm ashamed. He's got too much. I'm not going on the street begging. I am resolved what to do. That when I am put out of the stewardship, they may receive me into their house. Now, I want you to know in advance, he's talking about how you and I need to handle ourselves with each other when we sin. Ask for forgiveness. Work it out. Because when you come before the master, it's too late. You're terminated. This is the story. But he uses this. So look what he said. Verse 5. So he called every one of his Lord's debtors. So he called all the people that owed the Lord money. And said unto him, remember, sin is debt. How much else time alone? That's like you calling people that owe forgiveness to God that should get their life right. So you get with them and you say, look, listen, saints, I'm going to give you mercy. You sinned against God. I'm going to give you mercy. I'm going to tell you, I got the key of knowledge, what to do to make it right. That is 100% what the story about. Sin is debt. Let's get the proper characters in line. The Lord will be God. And you're the faithful steward. What does the steward have? He has the key to the food, to the pantry. In any business. When I was a manager, I had keys to everything. If I didn't open the door, nobody got to work that day. I had keys to the safe. If we had something we wanted locked, I had to open it. So I had to be found faithful. So if you owed something, I could work out a deal. Well, your food wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't good. So I tell you what, I'm going to give you some coupons. I was in charge. But if I start giving all the chicken away and the hamburgers, they're going to say, your food costs high. You've been found unfaithful. Do an inventory and tell me what I got left. Because you can about file those and everything you do that. They come to the inventory. Huh? Say, what's going on? So if I want to make a deal with somebody, like, you know, you owe me for 3 hamburgers, pay me, just say you owe me 1. Now watch, I'm doing this for a purpose. He's going to tell you what the purpose is. This is how you and I should love each other. If I know your sin can be forgiven you, you understand I'm going to go to hell if I don't tell you it can be forgiven. Listen to me. You cursed out your grandmother and she died of a heart attack 2 days later. And you come to me. If I want to keep the key, baby, there's no hope for you. Because you can't talk to her, she dead. But I'm going to tell you, God's still alive. How do you feel about what you did? I'm sorry. But now look, you can't beat yourself up. I got another key. Can't beat yourself up, baby. Got to let it go. She would want you to let it go. How do you know that? Because if she wanted the best for you, she'd have to let you let it go for you to continue. If you were here and she was here, what would you do? I would tell her, I'm sorry. So tell God you're sorry. But if I want to make you suffer, baby, can't get forgiveness for that. Y'all heard that before? Can't get forgiveness for divorce. I got the key. I can lift the burden off of you when I hold it. And what does that do? I'm not getting in, and you not either. Because you think you can't get forgiveness for murder or whatever, even though you're a saint and you're sorry. So you go around thinking God doesn't forgive. So what you gonna do? Why would you stop having sex? Why would you? Why would you? Your body telling you you need this. But I'm telling you can't get married again, baby. I got the key. So he's telling me, okay, Steve, you're not getting in. But for them listening to you, they not getting in. That's why we read that. So see, you got to tie it all together, brother Keith.
At the intersection of power is religion and politics.
Yes.
Good point, brother. I use this example. FBI and CIA, and I'm just using that example. They in the same building, but they both got power. And no means I still got power because you got to come to me.
Yeah.
So in other words, what you're using is the key, because that's the power. Key is the power, like no. Mm-hmm. So you got this is true. You got one building. You have CIA and you got the FBI in the same building. Mm-hmm. Okay. The CIA need 5 rooms for more officers. FBI owns the building. They both part of the government, but each one of them got power.
That's right.
But so the CIA go to the FBI and say, I need those 5 rooms. They said you can't have them. They got the power. They go run a whole other building to get the 5 rooms. It's not their money. It's your money, my money.
That's right.
So, but they both got power to work together, but they don't.
Don't work together.
They don't work together. So I just use that for an example.
Amen.
For what you're saying, they don't work together, but they got the power.
That's right.
Because if he says yes, you come on get these rooms, I lose my power. Mm-hmm. But if I say no, you go get another building. I can tell you no anytime I want. You got to come to me.
That's right.
So it's power.
That's That's right.
So the key is power.
Amen.
It's the same as no.
That's right. God
I hope you
bless
understand what I mean,
brother.
what I'm saying right there.
Yeah, God bless you. Man, that's beautiful. That's a good example. See, because we got power. The elders got power. The deacons got power. The evangelists got power. The teacher got power. Wait a minute. The members got power. I think we left out, it's a high five. The members got power. Acts 6 says, you seek out among you 7 that qualify. And then we'll approve through laying on of hand. So see, when someone says, you bring a person forward and say, let's take a vote. There's no vote. If they don't know you, you need to perform before them. Somebody said, we want him to be the evangelist. Well, I'll tell you what, let's let him work here for a while. We'll see if he can preach. Somebody said, well, we need someone. No, he can work here for a while. You can pay him. But we're not going to finalize because he might not be right. He can't even preach or teach. But see, somebody said, well, the leadership. No, the leadership, you don't have that kind of power.
Amen.
See, that's what you do not have. Peter and them didn't even have it. And they could raise the dead. He didn't say, we gonna look. He said, you look because you know them. So when someone brings forth a person, no evangelist has the power to say thumbs down. He's not Caesar. Yeah, and he goes, thumb. No, you're not Caesar. But see, if you let him be your God, he is your God. And he's going to take the key of knowledge, like the lawyers did, and put it in my pocket. But the best way to help a crooked evangelist is to tell him bye. And make sure you take your wallet when you leave. See, brothers hate when I say that. These crooked priests, take your wallet when you go. And tell your wife, baby, grab your purse. See, because as Keith pointed out, he has no power without money. Every crooked leader got to have financing. Y'all understand me? Because I have a mind that is of merchandise, and I'm making you my merchandise. I know brethren hate it, but you know why I teach it? Because I came from the Catholic Church. And when you look like a Catholic, I'm affiliated with the Baptist Church in the past. My brother was preaching. When you look like a Baptist, I'm affiliated with the Methodist Church. Because I had an uncle that loved it diligently. When you smell like a Methodist, I had another uncle who was a big advocate in the Seventh-day Adventist. When you talk like a Seventh-day Adventist, if you walk like a duck, and it sounds like a duck, it's got to be a duck. Even children, what is that, baby? Huh? This is a duck. When you get on the wrong thing and get old, they say, but it was part of the dog, but it's old, baby. It's old. It's broke. And this is the hypocrisy of a fake Church of Christ. See, this is the true hand-picked people of God. The Lord said, I came to my own, and they hated me, John wrote. See, you can't, see, we don't need to pray, is this the church? We don't need to, this is the church. Now, it is the one true church. Amos said, God said, I have nobody but you. And he comes to them, and he said, this is a story about y'all. None of the denomination were just about y'all. My church. That's what he said. And we got accepted, brother. We have no choice. Now let's get some more real quick. He says in verse 5, so he calls them together. He says, how much you owe? And the man would tell him what he owed. And he said, 100 measures, verse 6 of all. He said, and look what he said unto him. Take thy bill and sit down quickly and write 50. Wait a minute, you said what? He's a bigger rip-off artist than when he got fined. No. He's wise. Because remember what he possesses as a steward. The ability to show you mercy. But what he's done is, his Lord found out, son, you've been given too much mercy. You got cats that owe me all kind of money. You hurt my pocket. Take inventory, number 5. So now when the inventory comes up, watch. If I gave out 100 measures of oil, I'm 100 short. But if I tell you, say you only owe 50, my inventory don't look so bad. Listen to me, y'all. My inventory don't look so bad. Remember, I'm the inventory man. So now, if you say 100, oh boy, I know you owe 100, but I'm telling him, just say you owe 50. Inventory just went up 50. It just went up 50. I look pretty good now when I come before you. You may look at me and say, it don't look so bad. It's like that they reported about you. I'm not missing as much stuff as I thought. But watch what else I do. you like me now. Why? Because I've exercised my mercy in your favor. Remember, I'm too something to beg, and I'm definitely too something to dig. So what am I building up? A relationship with you. And I didn't steal it because you're the manager. The debtor knows, and you do have a right to give mercy. See, one thing you have to understand about a manager, he always has the right to give mercy. He always has the right. You drop a bottle inside Kroger's and it busts up, I just saw the other day. A roughneck will say, you know you got to pay for that. But a kind manager say, that's all right, step away from it, we're cleaning. You step on the glass. Aisle 16, number 10, we clean it, and you walk away, you done lost that man money. But he gave you mercy. Now some stores will tell you need to pay for it, depending on what side of the track you're on. You know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. See, the manager hasn't, he's a steward. Mr. Kroger's is not going to say, boy, you better get my money for that thing. Because he always said, I'll put you over. But if I come down and I'm finding out, man, I'm missing too much stuff. People throwing bottles on there, busting on purpose. Hold on, man, you don't know how to handle this. Now watch what happens in verse 7. Then said to another, how much on a star? He said, 100 measures of wheat. He got the money to pay it. He said, take that bill and write 80. So his inventory account just went up. Not gained inventory, the account went up. The account, remember the word account. David said, blessed is the man who the Lord does not impute, which means to add to his account the debt of sin. He says, he's blessed. See, you've been forgiven of your sin. You and me, we are bankrupt spiritually. And God forgave us of sin. So the steward has been given freedom, and he's used too much. He's become a liberal. Ain't no sin because God forgives. He's become a liberal. Just pay whatever you want. Come to church when you want, baby. Jesus knows. He been too loose. So now the next, okay, now you need to give an account, man. So look at verse 8. And the Lord, look what happened, verse 8. And the Lord commended the unjust steward. Look, he commended him. Because he got the word. Boy, you pretty sharp. I got to give you that. You know I was going to eat your lunch. You know, I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. Because he had done wisely. I got the key. I got the knowledge that can ease the burden of your sin. And the Lord finds out, you did good, son. You did good. You was loose, letting too much go. But you knew the only way to fix it is you got to have a relationship with the saints. Because that's what draws them to me. When you take the key and you tell them, come to God. See, I don't know how you was talking before, but if it wasn't this, they burnt you. Because the analogy is you owe a debt to the God of heaven. And I have messed up too. I let you go too much. And now I'm finna fix it. There's only one way to fix it. We still got to give you forgiveness for your sins. And I got to teach you where it's at in the Bible. Restitution. No, you have to tell me out the key. No. Can't get restitution. Well, why not, brother? Because if you kill a man, what you going to restore? He doesn't let you restore his life. I'm sorry doesn't fix it. You have to repent. And God has to see the heart contrite and the spirit broken, and he will forgive and will not refuse. That's what David wrote. A lot of songs they used to sing them. So you got to tell. Okay, so you know, you say, well, I beat my wife. God forbid. What you going to get back? Her face still swole. I'm sorry. The pain doesn't stop right there. You can't give nothing back. Restitution is explained in Christ. Restitution will talk to the Jew to know Christ gonna fix this. He's gonna give his life for your life. Restitution have nothing with you giving nothing back. What you gonna give back after you have fornication with somebody you're not married to? What you gonna give? Can't give them nothing. See, this is what's wrong. And this is why people start locking doors up, because I never knew really full of what I was doing anyway. I was hitting and missing along the way the whole time. If you go back and look at the people, I ask you to challenge your own soul. Examine yourself. Go back and think about the people who prevented worship. And just be real. Look in the mirror of this book and just be real. Were they ever really rocking 100% legit? Don't go, no one does. No, see, now you're going to go against God. 7 churches written, 7 letters written, 7 churches talked about. All 7 had an issue, but 5 was wicked and about to get the candlestick taken. The other 2 thought they were broke. God don't want you thinking you broke because you don't have money. You're rich, spirit, he told Smyrna. Tells Philadelphia. You're strong, but in my book, you got a little strength. See? They weren't like Laodicea, but they thought, we okay. But he said, well, let me be real with you. You got a little strength. Hang on to it. You're doing good. But there's room for improvement. See, there wasn't a candlestick threat. Laodicea, they thought we eat and 2 bags of chips. And he said, no, you're naked, poor, wretched, and you blind. If you be honest with yourself and review the saints that approve of the saints locking doors, just be honest and sit back and say, what's my image of their life anyway? Yeah, she used to smoke a whole lot and it wasn't cigarettes. She said she was working. Well, why I want to go to church? Let him lock all the doors. A realist is a person that looks at the situation placed before them and grabs the tools to fix it. It doesn't kick the car because it's not working. Don't bust the windshields. He doesn't sit up there and go, why won't the part work? Gets the tools. And that's what he's doing. A major repair job. He accepts it and he goes to work. People who are not looking at life realistic, it discourages them. I hate cars. I hate that they exist. It's just all from bad to worse. If you look at it realistically, you go, it can be fixed. God will help me. I'll use my knowledge. I'll get someone else. The problem is repairable. Look what he says. He says, and then he's going, this is Jesus' story. He's going to then criticize the saints. He says, for the children of this world, that's non-saints, that's non-saints, are in their generation wiser than the children of light. Why? Because it says this physical analogy, so this guy's wise. He knows, look, man, the master, man, I'm already terminated, but I got to have sustenance when I leave. So how do you think they're going to receive him when he sees the guy with from 100 to 50 oil? He sees him terminated. Because he never told him he was terminated. He just gave him a break. And they say, man, I went by there to get something from your master, and he told me he fired you. Yeah, he fired me. But I'm going to have to admit I messed up. I didn't handle things right. So what you think I'm going to think about you? Man, I owe that cat 100 oil. You gave me a cut, 50%. I need a steward. I need somebody to help my son with the business. You say, is that what it means? That's exactly what it means. Because he says he's wise. He made friendships with the people that had debt. How did he make a friendship? By giving them a break, lifting their burden. What did he say about the Pharisees? They won't even take away with one finger. Something as easy as one finger to flip. Nah, they want to burn you. He said they eat a widow house up. She said, man, I was thinking about selling my house, because I ran out of money to give. Well, I'm no realtor. Did you hear that? Is that what you're supposed to tell a widow? I'm no realtor. God will bless you. You're going to sell your house. I know. You're supposed to say, baby, look, wait a minute now. Your husband dead. You've been giving to the church faithfully. Don't sell your house. Where you going to live? I thought about my children. One of your children on drugs. They don't do that. They're not going to take care of you. Listen. Give to God what you have. He'll bless you. But I believe in tithes and offering, like Richard Barclay teaches. if you give, he will bless you. But that offering isn't even accepted by God anymore. You don't think he teach that? He's on the internet handing a young man a $20 bill and telling him he needs to give $2 of that. And then he said, see, it pays to go to church. And the audience said, amen. You think that's a gospel preacher? You really believe? Oh, he'll get you into the church like a prostitute to have a baby. But you better send grandma to raise her, because you'll find him in urine, boo-boo, no milk, and nothing. I got relatives like that, I'm telling you. You come to see the children, you got to tell, can we keep him for a few days and at least get him little rascal cleaned up or something? Because this baby look tough on the floor. Old crooked boyfriend, blonde, come on! One step short of a major drug dealer. That's... Not to let them know, be careful when you come to the house, son, because I'm not scared to call the man with the uniform. I don't care if he gets you on the yard. Be careful how you come to the house. Because I'm not scared. I can't get to the phone fast. No, I'm calling, including the chief. And draw guns, just let me get in the corner and hide. Make sure you don't shoot me. No, because see, you're not going to have my family afraid to be free in a land that's free. Nah. I'm going to walk to the store, and I don't want to be carrying no gun like a cop. I don't want to be a cop. God bless Gibson, I don't want to be one. I'm a preacher. And I drive for Uber. I work, I got a job. So I want to go get some milk. I don't want to get shot going get milk. And when they handle you, I'm putting my phone in my pocket. Somebody else can take a picture. I'm taking my milk and getting in my car. I'm going to get out of there as fast as I can. I want to live. I got a family. I got saints I love. I want to see them. I don't want to see you, you crook. Mad because you got to pay child support. You crook, don't have no baby if you're not going to pay child support, you crook. See, that's why some churches are full with people hanging out the windows, almost falling asleep like Eutychus. In some churches, you can hear a pin drop, because there's too much truth in that. He says in verse 9, and I say unto you, make to yourselves, look what the instruction, make to yourselves friends of the mammon. Look what he says. Of unrighteousness, that when you fail, they may receive you into everlasting habitation. Do you see Jesus switching gears like a truck driver, like Keith and them drive, and William and Robert? He's saying this a metaphor. Make to yourself, he's not telling you to love money. Make to yourselves spiritual riches. How's that acquired? Forgiveness and mercy. Rich with mercy and spirit and prayers, the incense of the saints, praying for people to get right, that they change, and letting them know the steps needed to adjust the life. Make yourself rich in that, like it told Smyrna. You're rich. You're broke financially, but you're rich. You're not poor like Laodicea, who was fat daddy Warbucks with money. Laodicea itself is a rich city at the time. So the church gonna be rich. But he said, you're poor, rich, naked, and blind. So he says, friends of the mammon of unrighteousness. It's a metaphor of that. Just as we make ourselves, we cut deals with people financially like that guy did. He says, do this on a spiritual level, that when you fail, they may receive an everlasting habitation. I told you they were going to receive it. See, when he's terminated, they're going to receive it. Man, you come work for me. You thought I made it up? You come work for me. So what does the Lord say? Okay, now, while you're on the earth, you need to take this key and teach this information. And what did Jesus say? We're going to end with Jesus. What did Jesus say? I have set the prisoners free. See, because he came and told them, you drunkard, come with me. I'm going to clean you up. And the drunkard listened. The Pharisees said, oh man, we holy. He need to go get them crooks. But they were unholy too. That's the problem. They were unholy also. And they wouldn't come. Look what he says in verse 10. He that is faithful in that which is least is faithful also in much. And he that is unjust in that which is least is unjust also in much. If you're faithful in a lot, you're faithful in spirit thing, the Lord's okay, you're faithful in everything. You're faithful in doing right, in being just. You're faithful. But if you're a crook spiritually, you're going to be a crook in other areas. The Bible says, well, all he knows is this. Okay, if you like John the Baptist, all you know is his baptism. If you're like Apollos, then when you hear the truth, you get baptized. When you don't, we know, no, you nothing like Apollos. You're just a crook. And you're crooked in other areas. All Apollos Black was the teaching of baptism about Christ, the specifics, and he got it, and then he got baptized. He started teaching. How you know he got baptized? Because the ones in Acts 19 have to get baptized again. So it infers everybody that had John baptism has to get baptized again if you did not receive the Spirit of the Lord before he left. It's so easy to miss. It doesn't matter who believes it. What matters is that you believe it if you want to be saved. He says, and if you have been faithful in that which is another man's, who shall give you that which is yours? He said, if you have been not faithful. So if I have been faithful in what is somebody else's, why would somebody give me something more? I use your car and I tear it up. I mean, tear it up. Come up with flat record breaking out, man. I don't know what to do. You know, I done try to fix nothing. I done try to work on it. I done try to just nothing. You know, and then so you try to fix it. Well, he tried to fix, try to get. Okay, whether it's a refrigerator, I take your refrigerator for a while. It go out. Milk spoiled and stuff, I give it back to you. Milk spoiled, don't work. You know, I'm not gonna try to do nothing with it. I'm not gonna try to help you with it. I'm not gonna try to work. I'm not gonna do nothing. I'm not gonna do anything. So why would you give me another refrigerator? Say this one's for you. Well, he didn't take care of the other man. Why would you say that? Because it was another man, so I need to work on trying to keep it running if I can. But why would you give me a refrigerator for me? I didn't take care of another man. See, we take for granted what's ours. You know what I mean? Just get real. You know, you got a house, you know, and the door hang. We don't use that door much. Just leave it up. I don't have time to fix it. It's your house. If another man's house, say, well, you should want to fix it. So it says if you took care of the other man's house, okay, you have learned the process. Okay, well, I do need to keep things up. See, that's the idea. So the Lord gave us the key to knowledge. If you and I don't take care of it, he's saying, why would I give you this salvation? Why would I give it to you? You didn't give it to others. Jesus told the apostles, freely you receive, freely give. Look what he says in verse number 11. Look at that again. If therefore you have not been favored in the unrighteous mammon, who will commit to your trust the true rich? Who's going to give you the true rich? So the Lord is teaching us, you know, you got to handle physical right. So you do have to handle physical life right. You don't want to be a thief ripping people off. So if you're doing that right, when you get true riches. So on earth you should be forgiving people, giving mercy and grace where it's instructed to do so, giving rebuke where it's instructed to do so. And then what are the true riches? The true riches are not what you have now. The true riches are everlasting. Heaven is everlasting. What you're going to stand on in heaven is not temporal, it's everlasting. So no servant can serve two masters. For either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon. So nice. He's making sure you understand. I'm not talking about serving money. I'm talking about handling things physical, handling things that are less. So what's less? What we're doing now, and then you'll be given things greater. We're going to be given things in heaven greater. He says, come into these riches. Something is richer than even the church and what we're doing now. So what happens? Oh, look what happens in verse 14. Now here comes the high esteem. And the Pharisees also, who were covetous. Oh, I told you, there's something wrong with the person. He's covetous. He's covetous, saints. Heard all these things, and they derided him. You know what derided? They listen to Jesus. Youngsters don't know what he's talking about. He was young. He not even study with us. And they look at each other. How can these things be? They were mocking. Oh yeah, God's going to do that. That's deriding. Look what he said to them. Now this is Pharisees highly esteemed. He said in Matthew 23, listen to them, observe and do what they tell, but just don't do their works. They say and do not. But they are high. Look what he says unto them. You are they which justify yourselves before me. So I justify you. Why I lock the door? Because of black ice. What if it was black ice out there? What if it was a hurricane? If a hurricane blow down a building, how will you worship in the building? That's ridiculous. That's childlike. Hurricane blew down a building. How can we worship? Who can worship in a blown down building? Are you not understandable? Who can come to church if you need a boat to get there and you don't have a boat because it's surrounded by water? That's not the analogy. Brother Frias talked about that on the radio program. So I want to justify myself. What if you had COVID and you found out when you come to church, who comes to church sick anyway with a dread disease? I can't tell, hey, I want to tell y'all I have a dread disease. I want to let all y'all know if you come within 50 feet of me, the possibility of death is imminent. And hey, how y'all doing? Who would do that? Who would do that? See, that's justification. He said, but God knoweth your heart. See, I told you it's smart. That's a bad thing if you're not right. If I'm not right. But that which is highly esteemed among men is abomination in the sight of God. So that's what he talks about. He says, if you're highly esteemed among men, if men think well of you, the Lord already won. You better check yourself. Because they don't like me, and they shouldn't be liking you like that. Or is this, or it's almost like you're floating up. Sometimes people describe God, they'll be looking in the air. And it's just one of the wise men I've been. I started to feel like, are you looking at Jesus or him? Who are you talking about? You know, what's wrong with you? I've seen a guy literally do that. And two brothers come out and say, brother, he's not Christ. What's wrong with you? Pitiful. And he was a gospel preacher 30 years at the time he started talking like that. He thought the world of this man. And he wanted us to think the world of him. And we can't do that. So just remember, saints, Pharisees, Sadducees, Herodians, their scribes, the doctors of the law and laws were highly esteemed, just as our elders, deacons, Bible teachers, evangelists, and scholars, doctors of theology, those who hold master's and bachelor's degrees in theology, and evangelists emeritus. You've heard that one. Men who hold these positions today become an abomination unto God. Some because of their doctrine, and some because of their titles. So we mentioned them all. Some of these titles, like doctor and emeritus, are worn knowing they are a violation of Scripture. The sad part is God knows their heart. Also, He reveals their hearts to saints who are faithful. The Old Testament spoke of men and women who were reputation, but would become an abomination when circumstances became unbearable. To end the thought, the Lord said, the highly esteemed man, before the famine came, He brought a severe famine. He said, the highly esteemed woman that would not even so much as touch her foot in an area of sin. He said, she will eat her baby. The real baby in the stomach. Not a metaphor. And they did. And said she will not even share it with the family. He said, the man, he said, who will not even put so much as his foot in sin. When this famine comes, he says, he's going to eat his own child and not even share it with the bride that had the baby. Wow! And guess what? When it happened, they ate babies like you and I eat birds. I'm just being real. Grotesque as it is, it happened. But the Lord told them in advance, and they thought this prophet crazy. We always knew he was crazy anyway. But it happened. And I've told you, brethren, according to the word of God, the Lord is not done with this generation. He is putting a whipping on us at a second on. I'm done. God bless you. Sister Linda has a final thought here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I want to know, I know you mentioned about the president, what he did, and what that other man,
Yeah, Michael. Yeah.
Kerr. How are we in the church, Christians, when we see, you said we follow the leaders as long as they in the truth. We see them, people out peaceful, got a certain time to go. But then we see all of a sudden, they've been shot at with rubber bullets and smoke bombs. And we see as Christians, people doing that to clear away as our leader we follow, to come and pose with the Bible, which we hold dearly to ourselves, being Christian, just for a shoot. But you do this against the friendly people. But you do that to uphold yourself, you can hurt those people. How are we as Christians supposed to think?
Towards that?
But toward moving people out with power, with force, and you come up and like you holding this prop for a Bible like it don't mean to you like it mean to us, and you in an authority. What we think of you doing that to your own people? Well,
let's talk about that. Before y'all leave, this is very important and it's still being recorded. First, let's look at facts and specifics. Okay? You have to know the fact and specific, because I'm not defending anyone. I'm doing just. Did they tell you leave? What did God say in Romans 13? Fear the power because it's from me. So if they come up and their chief says, this is a peaceful protest, the time is up because we need the road clear for driving because people want to buy milk and do things. Please leave. When the rubber bullet comes, was it just or unjust? Did they tell you leave? See, he doesn't have it for a show. He's not modern. Look at the rubber bullet gun. It's pretty. No, I have it to protect. So instead of shooting with a real bullet, I asked you to leave. They keep speaking till you leave. And you didn't leave. I told some of you private, I'm telling you public about a story of buying some tickets. They ran out of tickets. Everybody got mad. I'm a teenager, not a saint. They started busting the window of the ticket place. I said, oh my goodness. The police came with dogs. They looked like wolves. They were so big. And they came and they held it. And he said, y'all need to leave. I told my friends, get in the car because I'm leaving and you stay. And when I cranked that engine, it was time to go. Whoever's not in there, you're getting up. I said, I'm not getting bit and I'm not getting shot. And I'm not even a Christian. Listen, instructions are given. I don't know about that scene. I wasn't there to hear. But I didn't see the man holding the Bible shoot a rubber bullet talking about President Trump. If it had been President Obama, it doesn't matter. I didn't see him shoot a rubber bullet. I don't know if he told them shoot a rubber bullet. They're stewards. They're told what to do. Now, all I know is if somebody says they never warned us, like the police in New York that just rammed the thing, well, they were going to be reprimanded, whether it's termination or what have you. So each case is different. Take each case the same. But see, the people want to make whatever president control over everything. Well, it doesn't work like that. Because he also said, go to church. I remember when they said, go to church. Before that, it was never said don't. But they said, well, we're going to listen to the local guy. Now the local guys letting you get beat up and beat down. See, so what do? See, that's why we told you, this is the plague, the striking. If you don't listen, the Lord strikes. And he strikes by allowing the devil to have his way. And you have to know when to get out of there. You have to understand it. Because you can live to protest another day. If it's really peaceful when they tell you leave, then if you're peaceful, you should leave. What if a policeman brought out a Bible and said, what if he just brought a Bible? I got my gear on, helmet, and I said, any of you out here Christians of the Most High God, I serve him not. But this book tells me, if I tell you leave, you should leave. If it's a saint out there, shame on you. And if you think you're a saint, you better move too. Does he have to pull out a Bible? See, so I have no knowledge of what went on now. All I know, if it happened like I said, then you just got hit with a rubber bullet. But if they did not warn, then God's going to punish. See, we forget that.
They had another hour or so to go. They were following the rules.
Yeah.
But it was just disrupted all of a sudden. They didn't know what was going on.
See, that's what I don't know. See, I don't know the legalities there, so I can't comment. But the idea is, I do know if they tell you leave, you should leave. See, because certain rules may not be deemed applicable if I'm thinking it's going to get out of hand. So I might say we had a couple of police cars ransacked, so they got another hour, but they can't control Uncle Ned from breaking the window. You know, one of the saddest things about when police come to your house, you were scared of Cousin Joe. He pulled the gun on Grandma and she ran out dropping gingerbread and everything. You call the police. They're going to tell Joseph so-and-so, put the gun down and come out now or we will spray it with beer. And then when he gets shot, they didn't have to do that. Why didn't you go take the gun from him as he ran Grandma? Because you scared. Well, Mitch Gibson wants to hug his daughter again that night. So he'd rather you not get harmed than him. It's the way of life, deemed by God, justifiable. Why? Because you couldn't handle your own cousin you used to eat cornbread kush with. You can't control him. But you want me to come and take a bullet because you can't control you. No, we're not going down like that. You better try to tell him get out the way. Because we have to secure the neighborhood. And he's out of control. We got the schools locked up because Cousin Joe got a gun and shot Uncle Ned in the kneecap. No. See, this is where God says, I knew y'all wasn't right with me. And then now he may tell you, I got to come and hit y'all now. So-called saints. We got to be careful, y'all. See, don't get caught up in the politic world. We have another army we're in. And this army talks to Herod. Somebody said, what do you think about President Trump if they say he had other women? That's between him and his wife. It is a sin. He can call my number. My number's known to every man and want to look on the internet and see it. I call myself telling President Trump, you're going to have to fix that right with your wife. As we get in, once y'all get that, it's done. I'm not going to talk about it no more. But you still gonna need to get baptized. You know. I said, I say no more. I have to turn no flip back to make no miracle happen. I just tell you what the Lord said. See, brethren, if you really believe what God said, the same thing you tell the world, you got to tell your brethren. I just want to know where was the crowds that did not circle the churches of Christ and hold their signs up. Open the doors, Jesus. What's his name? Run now. So I told y'all before this started up, I told y'all, brethren like me and like you that love the Lord, don't bring us these errors that's going on in the world. Because we can point to everyone and say, what's wrong? They're never going to fix this. Because Paul said they're going to get worse. It's going to get worse and worse. It almost looks like the 60s again. Why? Because they didn't go to church. You didn't even go to your own fake church to try and act like you're looking for the Lord. You know why it would have been accepted? Because he accepted the people in the land that weren't believers. He let them worship their God and come to his house too. Or else a lion will eat you, he said. So they sent the prophet saying, no, y'all got to go here 3 times a year. And they still worship their false god. So Samaria was burnt. That's how it comes about. The wickedness of, because they were told, you still need to go to Church of Christ. Well, I go to Baptist church. Well, we have family friends. You still need to go to Church of Christ. Because when you come to the judgment, you're going to say, why didn't you go to my church? Why don't you go to my church? You read in the Old Testament why I let them go to both to try and teach them before they would die. I told a woman at the well, you're in the wrong place, the Lord say. You don't know what you're worshiping. You should be going to the Lord church. But they couldn't go this time because we locked the doors. And brethren think they're going to pick up business as usual. That's why I sent a message to Don Blackwell. I say, brother, you talking about peace among blacks and whites sound good, but you didn't even go to church. And then let the same word, you're going to have to repent, you and the elders, and then maybe they'll hear you. Of course he wasn't happy with the message. I didn't say it to be happy. I'd have been shocked if he would have been happy. So we have to understand, good points, brethren. You are in real time. Y'all heard of real time? You're in real time Bible days. Embrace it and walk right. And at the end of your road, you'll be telling children that'll be grown that used to be babies, I was there, baby, and we went to church. And they'll go, man, now you left them something they can hold on to. God bless you for that. This time we'll stop a lesson. If we can't, we'll get brother Giles, can you got a question? Oh no, come on, no, go ahead, brother. I'm sorry, I thought you was holding up your hand to pray. Go ahead.
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
Go ahead, yeah.
Okay, so I have a question
Okay.
pertaining to verse 15.
Okay.
And something is just hitting my mind where I'm trying to connect the dots on what the Bible say, God know your heart. Mm-hmm. And for that which is highly esteemed among men is an abomination in the sight of God. Mm-hmm. So, as a young man in the Lord, I'm trying to fix my mind to think about the next generation.
Okay.
And when we think about the next generation, we understand that it's a certain level of motivating them and getting them dedicated into the Lord.
Man.
In the sight of man, sometime when you're dealing with people, their mindset about you motivating the next generation will say you're esteeming yourself. Mm-hmm. But what you're doing is really getting people into the Lord by the way you speak, by your enthusiasm, by your zeal. Mm-hmm. How do we as members of the Lord, how can we justify through word our dedication to the Lord without having another man look at us in judgment saying you're esteeming yourself? How can we get out of that perception in the sight of man?
Amen. Good point, brother. God bless. The same way Jesus did. That's a good point. God bless you all. They told Jesus that you're beside yourself. I told him, you're beside yourself. And they told him, by what authority? When he turned over the table, do you do this? He said, tear this temple down, and in 3 days, Raise it up. That sounds pretty like, wow, this guy is crazy. So many years it took to build this temple, but he spoke of his body. Did he tell me about it? No. Why? Because y'all not listening to what I'm telling you anyway. So I'm going to give you, what did we talk about this morning? A dark saying. But I'm going to go take my disciples aside and break it down to them. And you and I have those words broken down. So now Jesus wasn't vaunting himself. He was validating. You can't hear without a preacher. So when you proclaim, brother, and say, well, he's trying to make himself someone, say, I'm doing what the Lord told me. There is no answer given. They can't hear without me. So I've got to tell them. Oh, you want to be somebody? They can't hear without me. And the proclaimer, you have to understand, is also the word that preacher, proclaimer, a woman. This doesn't make her an evangelist. She opens her mouth and she speaks. Brother Frias taught us a lesson that the daughters of Israel was kicked back, like a lot of saints do. Ooh, I'm glad I'm not a prophet. I'm glad I'm not a priest. Ooh, because boy, they going to get it from the Lord. How many of you heard sisters say that before? I'm glad I'm not a leader. And I'll tell them, why? You still account. Because he told the daughters of Israel, you sitting back? This doesn't bother you? You don't see what's going on? You can't be Deborah? Barak, why not you go and fight? You can't be Abigail? Don't do that, David. The Lord will separate himself from you. Without Abigail and without Deborah, you would have two bad stories in the Bible. One of a great king falling and one of a man being destroyed, Barak, in a battle. So you got to proclaim. Barak can't hear unless Deborah, who always judges things right, come and tell him, I'm going to go with you. Just go on and do it. You got to go do it, though. You got to go do this. So, brother, you got to proclaim. You and your wife, Sister Josh, you have to proclaim. When they say, oh, she thinks, oh, Sister Josh, oh, Miss Josh, she thinks she's holy. She thinks she's married. Just keep talking, sister. And you too, all you. Sister Craig, all y'all. Sister Fee, all you have to talk. Brother Craig, you have to talk. That's what they did to Jesus. Who gives you this authority? Who told you could do this? I tell them, you understand that the Lord raised himself up. That's who gave me the authority. I look like him and I talk like him. And therefore he's authorized me. And that's it. But they ain't going to throw a rock because the Lord say they hate me. And it's guaranteed. He says they won't hate you. Amen. I hope that addressed it, brother.
Oh, yeah, you hit that deal right on the head.
Praise the Lord. God be praised. Well, we're going to stop at this particular point. If we can, we will get you, brother, go ahead and give us a word of prayer to get us home safe.